A lot of DJs feel busy. You're watching tutorials, saving playlists, buying courses, but nothing is getting released. In this episode, we talk about the trap of that endless learning, why motivation is overrated, and how discipline actually builds a sustainable artist career. If you're serious about finishing music, avoiding burnout, and building something that lasts, this conversation is for you. Let's get into it.
It's 2:00.
It's 2:00. We're here. Welcome to the Artist Coaching Podcast, everybody. I'm here with Mr. Jay Hardway.
What's up?
How are you?
Good. What about you?
Low in energy, but this
Still
happened
tired
before.
from the marathon?
Not really. I'm actually
Oh.
not fully, but 99.9% recovered. I can walk again. It's just my knee hurts a little tiny bit, but I can walk again. So I can walk up the stairs without problems. So
That was a problem?
dude, for like a week.
Wow.
I had to go backwards on the stairs.
Like seated and then like,
No, not seated.
Oh.
Like just walk backwards. So turn around and walk backwards.
oh wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the price you pay. I see the first people joining in the live stream. What's up, Avarth, Bit3 Music, 24 Karat, Arnoud van Ho. What's up? Josh Letitia, Atalo, Rob Pollard, Grey Max, Joe Fires, Gerard Francis, Brian Andrade. What's up, everybody?
Oh.
Hope you are doing well. It's a holiday season over here. We have Carnival.
Oh.
Carnival. Oh, you don't have it across the rivers, right?
No.
You don't have Carnival
Is it-
holiday?
Well, I think there's some kind of holiday. Yes, last week maybe, or I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But no, I don't. I didn't celebrate this year, but I did go on holiday in Scotland.
Yeah, we noticed. How was your holiday?
It was amazing, man. I don't know
How-
if you've
how-
been to Scotland.
Yeah, I've played there a couple of times, but I'm actually definitely considering to going back, but like more exploring the country.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's unexpected because we were like looking for the kids for a snow holiday, but especially this time of year and like because of skiing, it's super expensive.
Oh, your
So we
kids
didn't-
can't ski, right? It's too young.
No, exactly. They're too young.
Ah.
So then why would you go there, spend all that money when you're not even skiing?
Yeah.
So then we kind of were like Googling, or my girlfriend was Googling and ChatGPTing, and we
I was
came
wondering,
to,
like-
to Scotland, like, hey, what's close to fly and there's a lot of activities and good for children, and Scotland is definitely has a lot, and I love. Man, it's bad weather, but I mean that's what we have here in Holland too, and we even had one sunny day, which is amazing.
One of
but
two.
like the 1.5.
Yeah, one of the
Out of
2 years
five.
per,
One
one
and a
of the
half
two
out-
times per year you've experienced it in Scotland.
Yeah. But Scottish people are also really, really fun and very. The hospitality is amazing. They really like are set. How do you say, like, prepared for tourism, and there's a lot of activities you can book and do.
Where did you
we
go?
Even went, we
Which
even did a
part?
boat cruise on Loch Lomond, which like in cold, windy weather, but it's like that you can do all the stuff and so a lot of fun and good to be out and always fun that on holiday one of your kids always gets sick. The 1-year-old. And she didn't sleep well, so we didn't sleep well. She had a fever. But yeah, that's always gonna
Okay.
happen, I guess. But
Scotland's actually very. It's a good tip. I'll check it out because it
Yeah.
might be very fun with the kids as well. Yeah.
definitely, yeah, definitely recommend.
Oh, we have a holiday season right now, but I haven't been away. I just
Did you celebrate Carnival or?
only for like one evening and one afternoon this year. I was planning to go for 3 days,
Okay.
which I normally do, but I found myself standing in the bar at Friday evening, and I kind of had like this third person view and
So
I
what the hell
wondered
am I
like,
doing?
what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
that
yeah. I get
and
that.
that was the moment I realized like, nah, I'm gonna change plans. So we actually went to the Efteling, a
Oh
theme
wow.
park, on Sunday with the kids, which was amazing. It was
Yeah, nice.
super quiet, so you could just go into every attraction.
Amazing.
Um,
Smart one to do it during carnival because
well,
everybody's out celebrating or hungover.
I honestly had no clue. It could go either way, as in, or it's
Yeah.
super
Yep.
busy because everybody in the Netherlands would come to the Efteling who
Yep.
doesn't go to Carnival,
Yeah.
or it's super quiet, and it was the second. So we had a super nice family day in the Efteling. So yeah,
Nice.
no regrets.
For context for people listening, Carnival here is only celebrated in the south of Holland, where I'm also from. And basically, what it is, it's drinking beer, and there's parades, and there you stand in bars with shitty music,
You
and
dress
it's
up.
like you dress up, and I
Yeah,
think it's really really fun, but also it's so stupid
it's
that
kind of like
pa-
it's kind of like Halloween without the horror
yeah, yeah,
element.
yeah, 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 definitely. And
Yeah,
it's like you can it's so stupid that it becomes like you can just let go. It doesn't matter. You just like whether you're dancing or whether you're just drinking beer and just standing there. It's like all good.
yeah.
But I do think maybe it's having young kids. Maybe it's not living there. It's like yeah, you kind of. I don't really miss it. Like sometimes I go when it's carnival, but this year I didn't go and I didn't really miss it. And in fact, the third person view I get from stories from friends, and you see people on the street in cold weather,
Dude.
and especially in Den Bosch, they're all wearing the same. It's
Yeah,
really
same here.
boring, and it's like, what are they doing? You know, they're
Yeah.
just standing there with shitty music, drinking beer. But I know when you're part of it, it's like it's just so simple that it becomes like nice. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's about brotherhood, I would say, as in we do it with the whole group of friends. So that one time a year where you all get together and party together, and like it's some sort of brotherhood feeling, which
yeah,
is very
yeah,
nice. But I don't know. This year I wasn't really feeling it, so I changed plans. But what's also very fun, what you mentioned, my office is
yeah.
located like 100 meters away from where all this shit happens. So when you're just working here and watching outside the window, you can just see people strolling drunk, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
dressed
yeah.
up, like completely maxed out at 1 p.m. It's very fun
Amazing.
to watch all those things happen here. So
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
just
been
for the
fun.
context also, it's during the day always. So you
Yeah, all day.
drink during the day. There's at night also people some people do like almost 24 hours, but yeah, not for me anymore. But it's
Yeah.
daytime parties. And then you are in bed by like 10 p.m. and then you start again at like 11 a.m. the next morning because then there's a parade. And then you are feeling sick, but you have a beer and you feel better again.
Yeah.
And then it starts.
It's
But I
also
think,
about discipline.
yeah,
It's
yeah, it's
also about
discipline. It's like
discipline. Yeah.
it's how do you say continuity
Yeah,
or
consistency.
consistency, man.
No matter how rough it gets, you
You drink beer.
continue.
You
You
drink
go.
beer. Yeah, but I do think it changed because I'm from a small town, Drunen, and it used to be like all my friends lived there, and we would go there. And
Mm,
now they all live in Den Bosch, which is a big city. And in Den Bosch, they only have one outfit. Otherwise, you're not allowed into the bars. It's a bit. It changed a lot over the past like 10, 15 years. And that's not my kind of carnival as well because I like stupid outfits, and I like that anybody is welcome, no matter how you're dressed. And in Den Bosch, it is the complete opposite. It's like, oh, this is what you wear, and otherwise there's literally bars. You need to wear the colors of the city, otherwise you're not allowed in.
yeah.
I
It's
mean,
like a football
all
jersey.
fair. Like, hey, if you don't like that, go. That's also what they say. If you don't like it, don't come here. But I
Yeah.
think it's just for me, it's not my type of carnival. I just, yeah,
There's
I
a
like
few
the
things
simple Drunen carnival.
there's a few things I wanted to address in the chat. Because who said it? Um Oh yeah, 24 Carat says I just realized I didn't went on vacation for I think 3+ years. I wanted to touch base on that for just a second because, sure, if it's a money problem, don't bother. As in, you have all the reasons to not go on a holiday. But if you do have the luxury of spending time and money on a holiday, go every year. Why? You also need downtime. You also need time in your year where you kind of give yourself that moment to zoom out, to stand still, to reflect. If you just keep going, it's hard to keep focus and to also realize what you're working on and where you're going towards. So that zooming
Yep.
out part and standing still, slowing down for a second once a year, or maybe twice a year, or in Jay's case, 12 times a year. Uh, I would recommend it. Like, if it's possible, do it. Because I know that a lot of people might feel maybe some sort of shame if they go on a holiday and not work because of how society talks about those things. But do it. It's highly recommendable.
Society slash Ralph.
Society slash Ralph.
Who's
Ralph
not even here,
represents.
dude. He's not
Yeah,
even
that's the
here.
second thing.
Um,
That's the second thing I wanted to mention is Ralph's not here. Why? No clue. But he texted like 2 minutes before we started. I won't be able to make it. We'll probably hear more about that next week. So
yeah, but to be fair, if we don't make it, there's always a legit reason. Like either it's just very practical, not possible, or there's just something that's a bit more important, let's say, or something's come up. Yeah, he wouldn't just cancel.
no, that's probably a good reason for it, but we
Yeah.
don't know why. Bit3 Music in the chat says, I have trouble slowing down. I can't be without doing anything. And this is exactly what I mean. We've come adjusted to the feeling of constantly being busy and constantly hitting that dopamine, like
Yeah.
constantly getting triggered by things like something needs to be in motion, something needs to happen. FOMO, all these things are part of that. But there is so much value in slowing down, and it's a lost art. I would say it's something we've unlearned ourselves over the past decades. Um, like I know we're gonna sound like dinosaurs here, but back in the day, when
You
there were
didn't
no
have.
when there were no phones and no internet on your phone, there were a lot of moments on the day where you had the moment to kind of slow down. Because if you walked to the bus, you had 10 minutes of doing nothing because there was no iPods, there was no podcast, there was nothing. And then you stood there waiting for the bus for another 10 minutes, and there was another 10 minutes of staring. Then you actually sat down in the bus for 30 minutes. And what did you do? Stare out the window for 30 minutes. Like all these little minutes that you had on the day where you granted your brain the time to slow down are completely deleted by efficiency. And you need to you need to try to get those moments back in your day. Like have 30 minutes, 1 hour to 30 minutes a day of nothing. Like don't fire.
Yeah, just don't try to fill up any
Yeah.
like little square meter of time,
Yeah.
a square minute with a screen or a task or a game or
Yeah.
music. Just sometimes wait for the
It's
bus. Hands
it's
in your
okay.
pockets, stare.
Exactly. It's okay to do nothing.
Yeah.
Here you have our
Yeah.
permission.
But
Go and do
I think
nothing.
even before like social media was what it is now, like this addictive video factory, it was like I also, and it's because I've been an artist for many times. I hope Joey will still hear me. I think so. He's just stepped away.
Yeah, I can
But
hear it.
I've been as an artist and as someone like who works for themselves, like entrepreneurs. You always feel like there's something to do. Always, you always feel like you shouldn't stop working, and it's that can be difficult also without social media. So it's like even when in the evenings or like sometimes you're like, oh no, there's stuff to do. And I think I'm very good, or I've gotten really good at just saying, and kids help a lot because you just have to be present for your kids. But I've got really good at saying, hey, it's 5 o'clock. I have to go home. That's it. And sometimes I'm like, okay, and I decide beforehand tonight is going to be work. So I put the kids to bed. and then work. But sometimes it's like, hey, tonight. Sometimes I'm working out, but sometimes I'm with my girlfriend, and it's like, hey, this is quality time for us. That's it.
Hmm.
And you have to become. You have to. That's a practice you need to develop as if you're an entrepreneur, artist, because there's always something to do.
Hmm.
And that's why also the holiday tip of Joey is like, go on that holiday. You can also bring your laptop and work on stuff, but make sure you're out of your comfort zone for a while. And holidays don't need to be expensive. You can get a tent and some on a camping. It can already be
Dude.
very like you're
Yeah.
away and you're like, oh no, I need this and this stuff. I need my computer. It does two things. First of all, you learn to switch off, and second of all, you realize you don't need. I don't need the studio to make music. I can
Yeah.
still do it on a laptop. I can still do it even on my phone with GarageBand or something. But it's like, yeah, you just learn to adjust to, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes putting the work aside
Yeah.
is very important to stay functional, and you come back and you're like, oh, I have all this stuff to do, and you're like, I'm excited to do all this stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, it's a bit much, but that's also such a good feeling because then you know you're working on the right things.
Yeah.
When you come back and you're
Exactly.
like, I want to work.
If you want to know a bit more, there's this guy who wrote a book.
Who's that guy?
Who's this handsome fella? No, for serious. If you want to know more about like slowing down and figuring out a way to, yeah, to create a slower pace in your life every now and then, and figure out how you can shift between going full force on work and also being able to slow down, as you mentioned, Jay, with like chilling with your girlfriend at night. There are ways to do it. It's available for free actually. The book, you can listen to it on Spotify, or you can download the ebook on the link that I just dropped in the live chat. It's called Happy in a Boring Life, which is my latest book. It's all built around this topic, and that's why it's so important to me, because I truly believe that, especially in today's society, we need to slow down a little bit more. Like we've kind of, yeah, we've maxed out in a lot of ways.
Yep.
And I saw someone else, who was it? Atalo also said, I deleted all my social media in 2020, and now I'm just really addicted to YouTube. Um, well, I can see that, but I do think YouTube, unless you mean shorts, but YouTube in general is different from socials, because when you're on the toilet, you are prone to watching a 1 minute reel or TikTok or short, but you're not gonna watch a 40-minute podcast on the toilet when you only have like 5 minutes. So I think that's different, but yeah, think about it, how you want to spend your time, and
I also
be, yeah.
I I also see bit three saying I have trouble slowing down. I can't be without doing
Yeah.
anything. And this is I recognize this because there's days where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take the morning off or something, and then I'm like sitting there, and after 5 minutes, I'm like, I'm bored. First of all, being bored is good, but I think it is really good to get a hobby that is outside of what you consider work. I have golf.
Oh, like you
No,
found a
but
way
like,
to get it back to golf.
yeah, always, always. No, but like, find something that you're as passionate about as I am with golf, because golf is something I'm outside, I'm doing something, I'm focusing on something that's not work, that's not so. It's really it really eases my mind. I'm so in that moment, and I think everybody needs something like that, some kind of thing where you can lose yourself. Music also is that for me, but there's many things that make it more of a business, and it's
Yeah.
not. It's kind of like I expect a lot of things out of that, and golf is like my hobby where I don't expect. No one expects anything of me there. In fact, people expect me to shut up about it. But it's like no one expects me to do well there. I want to do well, but it's like that's for me, and I think everybody needs something like that,
Yeah.
and that's what hobbies are for. So yeah.
Dude, I went what's it called? Pottery baking? Is that the right
Yeah,
way?
pottery. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
pottery. Yeah,
I started doing well, it's not something I do regularly, but I did it once, like pottery, last week with my mom. I gave her that as a present.
nice,
That is so therapeutic.
nice.
That's a very nice thing to do to kind of be bored and zoom out and stand still. The
Yeah,
only downside is it's a mess. Like everything is filthy, so I would recommend
yeah.
you to do it at somebody else's place. Um, but
At
the
your mom's
thing,
place.
yeah, no, this was like in a studio, but um, the thing itself, like working with clay and like being creative, because you are also creating something and you see something flourish in front of you. It's very, I really liked it. Sounds super super dull,
But
but
yeah,
it's
but things you don't know always sound dull. If I talk about
yeah,
golf, if you've never played it, you think it's fucking boring, and
yeah,
that's with pottery. Also, you think it's very boring. But I think yeah, that's such a good example as well. Something like that is like try it out, and if you don't have a hobby, find one. If you're a beginning artist, if you're a established artist, if you find something outside of that bubble, it's like the classic. You have your home. There's the three things. I heard this in other podcasts or whatever. That you have your home, you have your work, and you need something extra for you, just for you, so that you can
yeah,
have those three spaces. It's probably a book about it, but no, Joey doesn't have his book cover behind him anymore. So,
yeah. It's in
uh,
front of me
but
now.
it's really how I also see that, and that makes that and I yes, I name golf again because that's my example. But it's like for me, that's also important. And if you have a girlfriend as well in your life or family, they need to understand that it's important for you,
Hmm.
and you have to understand what's important for them, so that you can have a good balance in that. Because it's like, yeah, it's my hobby, but hobbies are very important to yeah,
Very important.
release stress. And so that's also something that sometimes is overlooked. If you have if you're, let's say you're 20, you have a very controlling girlfriend and you're not allowed to do your hobby, think about that relationship and how you're going forward, because that can be very yeah,
Relationship
restrictive.
advice from Jay Hardway. That's a
No,
nice.
but no,
That's a
but like
nice.
it's no, but it's this whole podcast is
It's
about
all
being an
therapy.
artist, but it's
It's
about
all
being a human
therapy.
as well. It's about
Yeah,
being a human. It's like that stuff that's important, and who
yeah,
you're with is important, and how you balance that with being an artist. It's all part of it.
yeah. Because believe it or not, artists are humans too.
They
I
are.
want. I want to tap into a conversation that is going on in the chat right now between Avarth and Atalo. And Atalo says that he is like struggling with. He has so many things that he wants to learn. Like he has a lot of playlists that he still wants to check. He has a lot of online courses he wants to do. Like you might, some people might recognize in this, like you gather all this information because you want to consume all this information because you want to grow.
Mhm.
One little side note that I want to set next to that is that doing something like that can also be an excuse for not having to do the actual work,
Yep.
because by following all those online courses, by reading all those books, by listening all those podcasts, you feel like you're doing a good thing
Hmm.
because you're investing into yourself. But what happens maybe in some cases is that what you're actually doing is, how do you say that, like you're
Being lazy,
well you
in a
you're,
way.
you're what is it, like diverging? No, it's like,
Well, I see that the same way as like watching a streamer play a video game, because you kind of want to play that video game, but you're a bit like not sure, so you watch someone play it, and watching someone play golf, or it's like just go do the thing,
yeah, it's
just
like a postpone. You're actually
yeah,
postponing the work
yeah,
that you actually
yeah,
need to do. It's
yeah,
just what you're trying to do. By educating yourself, you grant yourself the permission to not do
yeah,
the actual work, because now you're investing into yourself. But
yeah,
there is a point in time where you have to say, I know enough. I know how to make music, and I don't know everything, and that's fine. I'll just go with it, and
Yep.
I'll develop and discover along the way. And that's what I see with coaching as well, with the clients that I help. Like, a lot of starting artists get stuck in this phase because they feel, I've been doing all this work, all this time, all this energy, and nothing's happening. And you know why nothing's happening? Because there is no music and there is no content.
Yeah.
You've put out nothing. All
Yeah.
you did was reading.
Yeah.
And at that point, when they kind of start seeing that, it's like an epiphany.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. You have
until
to
that,
just do.
just do full circle
But
moment.
it's that's things you have to learn, and also just
Yeah.
yeah, it's I also see from Atalo, he says, I'm 24 and feel so much time and age pressure to make it. I get it, and it's difficult with everybody around you saying what you have to do and kind of expecting you to have a job. But I think there's you need to make money. You need to sustain yourself. So if people are worried to you about that and like, oh, there's so much pressure, they're just worried about you, yeah, like maybe financially being stable on your own, because that is a thing you need to also kind of work on, next to being like developing yourself as an artist. You need to eat, you need a place to live, um, and like age pressure, yeah, I think it's that's something you, maybe you're spending too much time online comparing and stuff. I mean, there's no age limit, especially in as an
No.
artist. And I think, yes, I am old, compared to like college kids, but yeah, that's for me, it's so irrelevant. And yeah, I,
I
I
would
just don't
even
see how
I
that.
would I would even want to make a case that until you're 30, you're way too young to get into music. You know, it's even
No,
better.
no, no,
No,
no.
it's okay to do it at that early age, but it might be even better to do it when you're 30 years old, because you're much more self-aware, you're much more developed, you know a lot more about how the world works, about what you want. There's a lot less doubt because you know what you want.
Yeah.
So there is a case to make that it's actually a good thing to be old in this industry. Um, so yeah, and something else he says is, would you recommend to still put out tracks when you're at the beginning and unsure if it's good? Yes, because even Jay and I and Ralph and Chesto still don't know if it's good. That
Yeah.
point will never come. It's always the question if it's good,
It's
yes or
in the
no.
eye of the beholder.
Exactly. The only way to find out is to get it out there, because that's how you actually build your career, by putting out
Yeah.
music and putting
Yeah.
out content. That is the only way.
Yeah.
If your
Also,
music,
AV Earth or AV Earth says, Jay, do you mean something like as a hobby you don't do with anyone else, like all alone? No, I don't mean that. It's something outside of your usual bubbles. So let's say I have my family, and I have my work where I work, and then I have golf, and it's kind of like three different groups of people as well. So I play golf with people that I don't work with, or some of them I also work kind of with, but
Werner,
just,
right?
yeah, three separate things. And sometimes I do it alone. And I think a lot of hobbies you have to start alone, because it's really hard to convince your friends sometimes to, hey, let's try golf or let's try pottery. If Joey tells me now, like, hey, Jay, you want to come with me do pottery next week? I'm like, maybe, but
Nah.
I don't want to make time for that. So you have
Yeah.
to start on your own, figure it out. But you'll find people that are, interested in it and that you can go out and play with. But you need to love it yourself. That's, yeah. So that in that case, yes, alone, but not per se alone.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
um, to kind of summarize this all, take time to slow down first of all, because that's how you create like an overview, and you get like a clear view of what you actually want, and the vision becomes clearer. And then once you've got that vision, all you need to do is get that music out, get that content out, even
Hmm.
when it's not perfect. You'll adapt along the way. That's how life works.
Yeah.
You start walking and you adjust along the way. That's what
Yeah,
you
and
do.
I think if you compare it to going to the gym, working out or running, whatever, that, if you think about it, is very easy. You just plan 3 moments a week where you go to the gym. You
Yeah,
don't even think about it. You just do it. That consistency
that's
and that
discipline.
kind of keep showing up is discipline. With working out, it's easy because it's like, hey, you do this. And with music and being an artist, there's way more stuff like, what do I even do? But if you just show up and just start something, I mean, you'll figure it out what works, and just make sure you don't repeat mistakes or, hey, this didn't work. You're probably going to adjust.
Yeah,
That's the bit of the difference with working out, but the discipline, it
yeah.
has to be the same. Just same time every day or whatever your schedule is, but keep it consistent.
I think
Um,
I've talked about this with Ralph last week, but everything starts with motivation. So right now you might be motivated because you've heard us talk and you feel like, oh shit, I'm gonna start making and releasing music, and that will keep you going for like 1, maybe 2 days, and then it slows down. And
yep,
what's happening then is discipline. Like
yep,
that's where you
yep.
need that schedule of actually showing up, because the motivation you can't build on that.
Yeah, and I think what's very important for people to see and realize is that even big artists or people that, like in my position now, I have no clue. There's no light at the end of the tunnel where I'm like, hey, I'm sure I'm gonna make it, but I'm just showing up. I have my vision, but in a way I'm like super scared. Like, what if it all doesn't work out? But I'm like, basically that's irrelevant. A what if is so irrelevant. So I just stick to, hey, what's my plan?
And it's
And
the
that's
same
what I
case for
do.
everyone, right? Because no one knows what's going
No
to
one knows.
happen tomorrow. So
Yep.
all you
Yep.
need is a vision and work towards that vision every single day. And
Yep.
what happens is, if you put time and energy into that vision, slowly but gradually, you'll work your way towards that point in time. But
Yep.
that takes
It's
time.
if you like golf and Google Anthony Kim, he won after 16 years of not winning. He was out of golf. He's been addicted to drugs in the meantime. He went down a really bad path, but then decided he has a daughter now. He decided, hey, 1% every day, 1% better every day.
That's it.
And he just kept going, and now it's like, yeah, but he's so rich. No, but he wasn't. He was like struggling, he was like, it's
It's all
yeah,
relative.
people don't see that part or are unable to relate with it. But
Mhm.
just remember, if you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, no one that hasn't made it yet or is trying to build something new, no one sees that. It's like that's the scary part. And
Knowledge
also, I
bomb.
saw Atalo said something about that is 24, and there's so much time, and that's what I touched on before.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But 24 is young. It's very young. Um,
Very young.
44 is young. I think if you're in your 20s and listening, yes, we seem old because we're above 30, and I had the same thought about people over 30. Once you reach 30, you're like, wait a minute, this is not old at all.
Nothing
Like, this
changed.
is super young.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know or think or feel that, just tell yourself 30 is young, 40 is young, 50 is young, 60 all depends on how you spent those years before, whether if it's young.
I still feel
That
like
deserves applause too, huh? Hey.
yeah. I physically I still feel like I'm 25, 20 years old. I'm 37 right now, and I'm probably at the best like physical era of my lifetime so far.
Yeah. And
Um
Atalo asks, after how many years did you become good in producing? Martin Garrix said after 4 years.
yeah,
For
for me
me,
5.
I mean, let's say I became successful from it in like 8 years or something. But I mean, it already sounded good after 5-ish
Yeah.
years. But yeah, then again, what is good? Stuff that I make now sounds sometimes better and sometimes worse than when I just started. So it's like,
Yeah.
what is good?
Yeah, good point. It is time. Hey, quick break. If you're an artist who's serious about growing his career, but you feel stuck and you don't know what to do, you feel overwhelmed, that's exactly what we help you with at Artist Coaching. At Artist Coaching, we offer one-on-one personal coaching for DJs and music producers who want to turn their passion into a sustainable career. Whether you're struggling with finishing your music, building your brand, or just figuring out how to stand out, we've been there and we can help. If that sounds like you, head over to artistcoaching.nl and book your free intake call so we can check where you're at in your career and see if we can help you. All right, back to the episode. 4. Community questions. As always, we take on questions in this podcast, which you can send into our Discord community, which and the link of that community is in the description. And for everyone in the live chat who's new, welcome. Nice to see you here. Welcome to our weekly live stream. Let's dive into the questions that have been sent in, and you still can send in, by the way. So if you want us to answer a question, make sure to go to the Discord. What's this? Is this new? Like, should we edit
Yeah, I'm
this?
just
Or?
like, hey, pointing down in the comments.
Okay.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a
Okay.
new
Okay.
challenge.
No. Okay. You're becoming more commercial with the hour.
Definitely.
Question from Ishvar. I'm reading a few new articles that a new generation doesn't go out that much because it's expensive and safety, etc. How do you guys, as DJ, notice this? This makes it feel like there are less parties, meaning there is less opportunities than before. Is that something you notice, Jay?
Yeah, I think you've said it right. I think there's less clubs, there's less parties. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's also one of those things like, yeah, is it relevant to know that? I don't think so. But then again, I'm quite like, hey, I don't follow the news. So
I think this is
for me,
also
that's yeah.
I think it's also a matter of where one door closes, another one opens. As in, yeah, sure, 20 years ago there were more clubs and bars or whatever. But back then you could also not make music on streaming or YouTube or Twitch or like all these other
Yeah.
ways that have entered the game. So, yes, there's less shows, but there's also a lot more opportunities. So it's
Yeah, it's
the
just you just got to think how relevant is it to know
yeah.
that. Like yeah, I don't think you should try to be an artist by weighing how much chance of success do I have. It's either you go for it or you don't. It's something that you have to really feel like you can make a difference in the scene that exists.
Yeah.
Is that Does that make sense? But
Yeah, like what's your value in this industry? Do you add something to this
yeah,
industry? Do you add something to the world? And if the answer to that question is yes, then you're
you're an
good, right?
artist. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you pursue that, you're an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get it, like the assumption might be that if there are more clubs and more bars, there's more places for you to play. But let me tell you this, even when there are more bars, most of you don't want to play all round music. You want to play the music you want to play, and that's not for most bars in this world. And even when there would be more clubs, would those clubs actually book you? Because those clubs will probably book the same top 50 DJs that are getting booked right now because of their brand value. So the problem is, sure, it's important that there's like enough room for everybody, but the most important question is, why would they book you? And if they don't have a reason for you to book you right now or 20 years ago, that didn't change. If you build your brand, you will get those gigs because there's enough spots to play on the planet. You just need people to be aware of your brand and they need to value you for what you do. So yeah, that. Question from Cedrin. Oh, he just entered the chat as well. What's up, Cedrin?
Oh,
For you, Jay. Are you checking the Discord? Otherwise, you can read it out
yeah,
loud.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's Yeah, do
Question
that.
for Jay. Since you have 4 collaborations with Martin Garrix that are quite old, and I noticed that you used to appear on the Martin Garrix show from time to time, or at least once, I can't quite remember. I was wondering if you're still in contact with him or if you're planning to make another song together, especially with his album coming out in the spring. Um, yeah, well, I am still in contact. I send him my music. Sometimes he responds. I don't, not sure if my new music is in line with what he would play. So it's like, and that's never personal. Sometimes people like tracks, sometimes they don't. But I am going in a bit of a different direction. So, but yeah, in that sense, we're still in touch. But I do think our lives have changed so much. He's become like next level mega superstar, and I've become like next level family man. No, but I'm like we're a little bit of a different age. I have a family, so it's like, yeah. I mean, if I see him again, we're all good. But I I don't speak to him regularly. I just send him a new music, and
Yeah.
sometimes he checks it out. But yeah,
I
it's
think that's
that's
also a misconception that a lot of people might have is that once you've made a track together, you're like BFFs.
yeah.
And sure, you might have a good relationship and you like each other, but it's not
Mhm.
like normal that you become BFFs and that you
I
talk to
mean,
each other each day.
I think we did see each other a lot in like from
Hmm.
2012 ish there, and we made a lot of music and we toured together for a few years. But I mean that then changes. My career changed, took flight as well, relative to what it was before. Not relative to Garrix. I mean he. That's why I'm saying he's this big superstar.
Hmm.
But yeah, then you just, yeah, it's not even grow apart. It's just like, yeah, we're doing our own thing, and
Yeah, exactly. But
it's all good.
it's like in regular life as well with your normal friends, right? Like
Yeah,
sometimes you're in this moment in life where you click and where you just where it's the most obvious thing to spend time together, and 5 years later that might be completely different because life
yeah,
changes.
yeah, definitely.
But that doesn't mean you hate each other. It just means you live different lives.
Yeah, and I think with my best friends, my close group of friends, and I say close, but I sometimes we don't see each other for months, and then we see each other, and it's like we never left. So it's
Hmm.
like yesterday,
And
and
that is true friendship.
that is true friendship, and you also don't give each other shit for not replying or whatever, because everybody knows we're all busy, we're all focusing on our own health and lives and careers and kids. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that.
Question from Al. Uh, question for Jay. Scottish holiday, no invite?
Yeah.
Yeah, so no invite.
Nope.
Question for me is what artists, DJs, and producers are you a fan of? Well, to be honest, I'm not fan of a lot of new artists. I go way back, so I'll just check out a few of the tracks I listen to occasionally. I'm a fan of Dennis Ferrer. I'm a fan of what's all here. Black Coffee is one of my favorites. Axwell is one of my favorites. What else do we have? Cyrus D, which is Eric Pritz actually. Um, yeah, the whole Swedish House Mafia by itself. What else do we have? I listen to so many stuff like Afro House, Zaya. What's in here? Stimming. I love Stimming as well. I'm not sure if a lot of people know him, but he makes great stuff. Mowgli, also very great. Mark Knight, Jimster. Yeah, all that. So probably a lot of old names, but that's what I listen occasionally. Um, I noticed Atalo has a lot of questions in the Discord, but let's just pick one of them. Do you want to do the one of Stardust?
um yeah, let's break down. I read his first question, and it's about he has a lot of MIDI files, and they're 4 bars long.
I mean the
And
second question about
yeah, but
Stardust.
I think to like
Hmm.
me- like a MIDI, a melody isn't a song. So start with number one, finish it, or pick the best five, finish them. Pick the best one, finish it. Yeah, then you can. And how to finish it? I mean, that's really up to you. That's really hard for anyone to say, but just start. You can't. It is really important. You can't just make a melody and say like, oh, that's good. That's now going to be happen. Nothing's going to happen to it, and it's going to stay on your hard drive forever. That would be a shame. So that's my tip there. Question 2: in the track Stardust, you have the pluck sound, which is a combination of a square and sine, and is constantly switching between two notes, up and down. After the 16 bars of drop you hear very good panning between that pluck sound that sits in the middle of the mix and the sounds left and right, who are drums, special effect sounds. How you make sure it is mixed that well, because that pluck sound really stand out as a space for its own. The section is only 8 bars long because after the pluck sounds start slowing down. That's a lot to break down. I think that's all like in the moment choices of what is cool, and you're thinking about which sound deserves the most attention. So how do I put that loudest in the mix or in the middle, and then other stuff you're playing around with panning, mixing. It's all choices in the moment that I thought were cool, and it ended up being very cool. But trust me, there's been many versions of Stardust. I remember like version after version after version after version, and I sent it to the label, and we were all like thinking about not it, not it, not it, and then I had it, and it's like, yeah. So that it comes down to not a specific trick. It comes down to just experimenting and trying out until I found what really worked for it. Yeah, that.
As Gerard Francis in the chat says, just do. Just do.
Just do, man. Just do.
Question from Second Memory. Afternoon, legends. After recent releases on labels such as Stamped that have gained strong momentum, I've been approached by multiple booking agencies. They represent artists with a bigger profile than mine, but they're not my target agencies. What would you advise? Sign with one of the smaller agencies or continue building momentum independently until a bigger agency comes along? I'm concerned about getting stuck with a smaller agency if I sign now, but it could also help me secure more gigs. This is a very interesting question, and I know there's a few people listening right now who are at the same point in their career. Do you have something? I have something to say about it, but I'm not sure if you have something to say.
I mean, right now, I think it is really hard to get bookings on your own. You kind of need people to reach out for you that are already kind of established in some kind of area of the promoter scene, that know some promoters perhaps, so they can cut you a deal. That's how I see it. I think if you're starting out and doing it on your own, it's difficult. It's more difficult. It's I think Josh Letitia, who's been I think even on the podcast, but also just we talk about him a lot, has done a good job of like finding contacts himself. But it's so this is such a hard question. If you can figure this out, I think you'll sell books with the method of doing that. But even now for established artists, it's and bigger than me as well. It's hard right now. It's like
but it comes down to the same thing as we talked about before, as in it doesn't necessarily matter where you're signed because your brand value still matters. Like you should still do the work yourself, and an agency is just an accelerator. You know, as you said,
but I do think in right now the politics game is so strong. But
that's for the big festivals, right?
Also for bigger clubs, and like you need someone established that can say, hey, these are the artists that I want to book there. Otherwise it's really hard to get through, I think.
That's true. It definitely helps. But what I would like to say to Second Memory is try to not think in I want to get signed to a big agency. Try to think in I want to sign to an agency that is capable of helping me to the next level. And if that happens to be a smaller agency with more impact, because at that smaller agency you might have more priority, and that person will run just a bit harder than a bigger agency will, because you are not a priority there, because there's a lot of big artists above you.
Yep.
So try to think of which person can add the most value for me right now, not in 2 years, but today,
Yep.
and try to work from there, because you probably sign a 1 year deal or 2 years, or you have 6 months of trial period, which I will always recommend. Like, just do a 6 month trial period, and if that works, you can extend the deal for like 1 or 2 years. But even then, like, if you sign a 1 or 2 year deal, it's not the end of the world. If something doesn't work out, it's probably for both best for both of you if you stop your collaboration. So
Yep.
if you have a good feeling about this smaller agency, and if you feel like they can get you to the next level, give it a try.
Yeah.
Do a 6 month trial.
Make sure you click with the people that you're gonna work with. I think that is
Important.
something that you need to be on the same page. And in fact, I have signed to a smaller agency than I was with before, and right now I'm changing. I've changed my whole sound, so it's we're actually like struggling a little bit to like get that new image through. But it's gonna take some time. But at least with my new agent, we're so on the same page, and we can
Hmm.
discuss openly what will be the tactics, and it's very, that works for me, and that gives me energy to work and invest on my career harder. And I think that's the kind of energy you need when you're building something. You need the people that you're like, that are honest, that are clicking with you, that can be very direct to you about what they would need,
Yeah,
and also be real with them, like, hey, if we're going to try this, how do you guys feel? You need to be on the same page.
yeah,
um,
and that
yeah,
comes
because you
down.
need to get energy to build your brand. Yeah.
Yeah, and that comes down to that part that we also mentioned as well, is that it's also a people's industry. You need to, if you work with people, you talk to a lot. You talk to each other quite a lot. So you better be on the same page, and you better like each other, because otherwise it's going to be a tough collaboration. Same when you sit down with someone in the studio. If there's no personal connection, it's going to be hard to create a track. It's the same with managers, with agencies. It's a two-way street. It's not just you; it's also them, and there needs to be like a fluent energy stream between you. You give and they give back, and vice versa. It shouldn't just you who puts in everything and they just sit back and relax, and vice versa. It's literally a collaboration. So try to work with people, um, yeah, that you click with and that you think rationally could add value to your career, business
Yeah.
wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, let's see. Atalo had
Hello.
another question. How do you guys think about analog gear will develop in the future? And do you think new producers will even care? Because everything is getting more easy. Are producers becoming lazy? I mean, where's the craft? There used to be a clear line. Now everyone can enter because a hype they have.
Yeah,
Opinions.
I'll answer this by comparing it to, let's go back to the 70s. You needed tape to record on,
Hmm.
and then there were home computers, and anybody could make music. And did we become lazy? Maybe, but it's so irrelevant to
Yeah.
the art of making music. That's just like how you make music is just like how do you get your ideas out.
Hmm.
And I think that's always gonna change and it's gonna be different. And so I think, yeah, maybe people don't care about analog gear as much. I'm selling this bad, but no, but
You
maybe they
just
don't
dusted it
care.
off.
But it's like, yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. And if lazy is not the right word, I think just, yeah, we've always, especially in electronic music, used all the technology available
It's
to,
evolution. It's
yeah,
evolution.
yeah,
We
yeah,
develop as human beings, and technology is
technology.
is part of that. And it's better to adapt it, because yeah, it's not going away, right? It's here. So
Yeah.
um, I would definitely try to use it. Um, one thing I do wanted to talk about with you, because last week we talked about it briefly and we wanted to extend it a bit more in this week's podcast, which is the retreat that we're organizing. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are organizing the Beats and Brand Retreat, which means talking about slowing down. You're actually coming over to us physically in the studio and the Bassjacker studios for like 2.5, 3 days. And we're going to work on your music with Jay and with Ralph, but you're also going to build your brand and work on your brand and like all that stuff with me. Um, it's going to be a small group. It's only going to be 8 people. We've already filled 4 spots of those 8. So there's 4 left. For those who are interested, I've just dropped the link in the live chat, but I'll also drop it in the description of this podcast episode, so that if you're interested, you can check it out. You can apply for the retreat, and then we'll get back to you, because we do a hand-selected group of people, because it's only 8 people, and we want to make sure that it's the best combination of people possible. So yeah, the retreat, Jay. Are you excited about that? Why do
Very
we
excited
even do this? Like,
to make money.
a lot of money. Yeah. No. Why do we
Um,
do this?
well, we want to build a community, and we're interested in the ones that are actually very serious about it and that want to go out there in the real world and connect with each other. And it's coaching also feels for me like giving back, and doing this podcast feels like giving back. And it's like this retreat is just the next step, and it feels like a logical step where we just get like direct feedback with people. And we're doing sometimes with artist coaching some calls, which is amazing, and you can really dive in deep. But to be in the same room with people, and we noticed that during ADE, commenting on each other's branding and music, it's so much value.
Yeah.
And you get the different insights, and I think that combination is just, it's going to be really,
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that,
As you
yeah,
mentioned, like, I think it's a very cool combination between slowing down and zooming out on your career, because you're also going to be away from your own safety bubble. It's going to be including 2 nights in a hotel. So you will be staying with us. You're
yep,
going to have dinner with us. You're going to have breakfast with us. So you'll be in that bubble for like 2.5 days. Um, and that's something most people don't do, as we just talked about in the start of this episode. So that's already a big value proposition, I would say. And then the second thing is, as you mentioned, I truly believe that one of the most important thing is that you get out of the studio and talk to people, get in
yep,
touch with people, be in the room with those people. Because, as you said, what we've noticed with ADE, it's so valuable what happens when you put a few people in the room together with
yep,
all the same discipline, the same mindset, the same vision.
yep,
uh, Something incredible happens. So that's what we're trying to do with this retreat. It's going to happen in May. All the information is on the website that I've just dropped in the chat and in the description of this episode. As I said, if you feel like you want to be part of this, make sure to apply, and then we'll go over the review, and then we'll let you know if it's possible, yes or no. There's only 4 spots available yet, so we'll see how it goes. Um, Anything to shill, Jay?
I have a new song coming out every Friday because with Ekboy. But every next week, a new track on Friday. It's called "Don't You." Um, I'm very excited. I'm very excited about all my music. I'm finishing songs as we speak. I'm doing something very special next week as well. More info about that soon. But
Dude, you are becoming such a commercial dog, man. Like,
yeah,
call
but
to
dude,
actions, like hooks, everything. This guy has it
dude,
all.
it's. But I'm excited about what I'm working on, and it's even like my last track, "The Pain." It's a very good track. Go check it out now. uh, but even my last track didn't really do much support wise. It was okay, and like stream wise, it was okay. But like that's not the result you want, and it always hurts a little bit. But then I because I'm working on so much music and I'm looking forward to all the new music, it's like, man, I stay excited. And I think my 30-minute a day um, routine of making something new has totally changed the game for me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I think is about maybe being an artist is the most important. It's like that idea that if you're working on something, that you're working on something huge, and you're like, every producer that's released tracks knows this feeling where you're like, oh no, this is like next level, this is a hit, and you're really feeling everything like that. It's the biggest thing ever you're working on, and even when it's then released and it doesn't do shit, at least you had that moment and that whole thing of creating that, which I think is like, as an artist, maybe that's where you should find your joy, because otherwise it's never going to be enough anyways with all the success. So that's the things you need to think about for this week, everybody. It's that is the most special thing I think about being an artist slash creator. It's that moment where you're like, I'm creating something, the biggest hit in the world, even though it isn't. You feel it in everything, and
Yeah.
it's magical, man.
Last question. That's from
And
John and
that
Mr. Smith.
and a perfectly struck golf ball,
Best feeling in
man,
the world.
best feeling in the world.
John and Mr. Smith says, are you still doing 30 minutes a day in the studio? And how do you deal with it with holidays? To end
In the
with a
holidays,
practical.
I didn't do shit. I
Yeah. But that's what we've
um
talked about, right? Like with when you slow down, and you don't like try to
yeah, well,
do both.
I think I was planning to do more, but my 30-minute rule is for when I get to the studio. I have not done it today because today I've been a sinner. You see, when you go on holiday, sometimes you get out of that. But I'm still working on music. Don't worry.
The chain is
Um,
broken.
but that's the thing about going on holiday. Sometimes it's like, yeah, now one of my kids got sick, so you don't really sleep, and then you have all these activities as well, and it's like it's just so much. So I didn't really get to opening my laptop even. It just stayed closed the entire holiday. But like I said, I can really switch easily between I'm not working now, and that's something I learned, and I can advise anyone to learn to you know when you're watching Netflix when you shouldn't.
Hmm.
You know, if you're don't do that, but pick moments where you're like, now I'm gonna watch Netflix
Yeah,
and I'm
and
gonna
it's okay.
fully switch off.
Yeah,
That's fine, but don't. You know when you shouldn't watch YouTube. You know when
yeah.
you shouldn't be on your phone. Just make sure that when you do, it's fully committed.
I think we've managed to still make it a valuable episode
It's one of the best. It's one of the best so far.
without any preparation. The
Yep.
community saved us with a lot of great
Yeah,
questions and
great
a lot of
questions.
interaction in the chat. But we kind of nailed it as well. So kudos for us. For everyone who's still listening, who's still with us by this the end of this episode, make sure to check out our Discord if you're not part of it yet. You can get in for free. It's in the description of this episode. We talk about music all day long. You can send in questions for the podcast. You can get feedback on your music. Like a lot of things happen there. I believe there's almost 700 plus DJs, producers over there, so that's quite a lot. Make sure to check out the retreat if that's something you're interested in. The link will be in the description as well. And we will be back next week with Ralph, all the three of us, with another episode. Thanks for everyone in the live chat listening right now. Thanks for everybody watching on YouTube. We appreciate you. Make sure to share, like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. And we'll be back next week. Enjoy your day, everybody. Bye bye.